Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks DIY Garage. Well, this video is one of my older ones that I'm putting together, trying to kind of take out some of the stuff that I didn't need to talk about, cut it down a little bit, and as well as this is one of those ones where I kind of did it over time, over several videos, and it started out, it did not work right in the back of my truck. And so this is going to go through kind of showing you the first part that I did that didn't really work, and then what I did to fix that. And it is working fine in the back of my truck up to this point. It's been several years now. Yes, I plan on also in the future remodifying this, but I thought I wanted to put this video out just for more people to see kind of the pitfalls of this Harbor Freight product. So anyway, without further ado, here you go. Hit my first snafu here. First of all, I went ahead and drilled the holes in the truck bed, just stuck this where I wanted it, marked it with the Sharpie, and drilled the holes out with a fluted drill bit. Another Harbor Freight thing, come in like a pack of 3. They're pretty cheap, and I actually used the 1/8 to 1/2 and drilled it all the way through, and it was a perfect size for these bolts here. What I did was try and bring this back as far as I could so that I had as much length over the back of my truck for my tailgate here, so I wasn't smacking into it all the time. What I managed to do is, if I actually put it on the hole that it's supposed to be here, I missed it by that much. I smack into the frame rail, comes right about into this area right here. So I guess there's a couple ways you could do this. You could cut that off, or drill a new hole, or drill more holes in the bed of your truck. I don't want to drill more holes in the bed of my truck. I didn't really feel like cutting all this off, and yeah, I don't know, just didn't seem like fun to me. I thought drilling holes seemed easier to me. So I figured out where that hole was, and I'm going to go for the rest and just drill a hole here and a hole here. I'm going to hook the chain up to this thing. There's the chain right here. Got the hook on it. It's a good sized chain. I'm going to stick that down in this oval hole here. It's an oval hole. Stick that down there. And this is the bolt you're going to use. It's got the shoulder on it, shoulder bolt here. It's the only one like it in the kit, so that's the one we're putting here. And then this washer was in there. It doesn't show it anywhere in the book. This is the only one this size though, so, and it says not to worry more. It just shows you putting the bolt through here, but to save the pain a little bit, I'm going to use this washer that they sent in the kit anyway and put it on that side. And then it just shows the lock nut, or lock washer and nut on this side, but this was also in the kit, so I'm going to put this on this side. Throw the lock washer and the nut on, and tighten that up, and we'll have our hoist chain there. Got the main pivot here. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know what the technical name is, but it came with Zerk fitting. I had to install that. We'll stick that right down on there. Then you got your ram, and that goes in this bottom hole here, and use the medium sized pin on that one. There's a small, medium, and large. We're using the medium one here. And I am using these cotter pins. I don't know if you can see that, but it's similar to what you put into your hitch on your truck when you put the pin ball in. And it just clips in like that. Now it actually came with these permanent cotter pins that you put in. I'm not using those. This doesn't hold weight. It just keeps the pin from falling out. And quite honestly, like I said, I'm not going to have it in the back of my truck very much. So when I go to store this away, I want to be able to just tear it all down and put it away, and not have to worry about the whole big bulky thing and trying to figure out a place to put it. So anyhow, that goes on there, and we'll take the first tube, and the longest pin goes in this one. top of your ram has the smallest pin goes through here. And yet another pin. So I mean, this is real simple to put together here. And I think it'll be a little bit easier to pull apart and put together to store it, like I said, this way. If I can get this in, there we go. And there's that, and obviously you have the part that goes inside that holds everything. Now you got all the way back, you got 1,000 pounds, 700, 600, and 500. Now it also comes with these pins, and the smaller one, it's got 2 of these. The smaller one is the one that you actually hold the arm on with here, keep it in place. And I have this all the way out. It's actually about 2 feet. It's like dead on 2 feet off my tailgate here. Most of the time when it's riding in the truck, it's all the way down. Anyway, then it'll go up over the wheel well there, and it's got a bigger one of them, and it just goes somewhere in here. There we go, and that'll keep it from moving around too much. I probably will still, because it's got a little bit of play, just keep from rattling around. I'll probably put something up there that kind of holds it in a little bit. And we have a fail. I went to put this Bronco seat in the back of my truck, which weighs maybe 60 pounds. It did bend my truck bed in the corner here. But in the defense of this product, it does say to mount it to the frame. But in my defense, if you look at the picture on their website of where they mounted it in the back of their truck, there's no way that it's mounted to a frame. It is just mounted to the bed of the truck. Yeah, we're going to attempt this again here. And I got to looking, and if I was going to make this work the way they say, it'd be sitting right about where that tape measure is right there. And that's, you know, pretty far into my truck. You wouldn't be able to use your truck to load anything into it if it was sitting out there. So you're not going to be able to use the frame and bolt right into it, you know, with this thing. And even if you could, those bolts that they give for it are not long enough to get down to the frame either way. So if you buy this Harbor Freight hoist, you will definitely have to do some modifications. Found some steel plate. It's probably not as thick as I would want to use, but it's what I got, so I'm going to try and make what I have work. Well, I got this. I actually cut this edge here so it'll fit flat into here, and left this factory edge on here. Thought that would look a little bit nicer, because obviously my cut's not perfect along here, but it's as close as I'm going to get with the tools I have, so that's what we'll stick with. But now I got to cut, because this is coming clear out to this edge here, so I need to cut this corner out of here. So what I'm going to do is mark this, give it an estimate here. I'm actually going to come out a little bit further. Give me a little bit of wiggle room there. I'll take that one out, and then I'll bring this one out to about where I want to be here. And don't forget to leave room for your tailgate to close up here. Then I'm gonna, my head's not in right here, kind of mark this, give me a little bit of wiggle there as well, and I'll cut that corner out. I'm gonna take this out, take my square here, and line up here, line over here, put my square close to those marks. Take a Sharpie and mark one there. Yeah, I'll probably start at a smaller cut and then creep up on it just to get it in right. Alright, one underneath there. And I drilled the holes. Well, I didn't drill the holes, I marked the holes. So hopefully, when that's sitting on here, I'll have a cross brace going right across here. In fact, this is hanging over just a little bit from the whole cross brace goes across here. And I should, and obviously the whole back of the truck is right here. This is really strong here. So when this is sitting here, the weight from where it bent before was right around in here on my truck, and so that hoist will be sitting right here. Most of the weight will be here, and hopefully this will keep it from pushing down too much here. I'm also thinking about putting that up underneath there, but well, we got her in. I got the plate here, I got a plate on the bottom, I got the plates that these came with down there, and had just enough bolt to where I could actually safely get a little bit of thread through them. So at some point I'm going to definitely probably get some grade 8 bolts and make them a little bit longer, but for right now, for testing, should work alright. So as I said before, I'm not really going to travel with this very often, just when I need to use it. And I decided actually to leave this in here. I noticed it when I did grease the Zerk, it doesn't rattle around too much, and as long as I take all the rest out, I'm not real worried about it getting stole. And I got to thinking, if I left it in without this, the water would go down in here and probably fill it up, or at least make a big mess in there. So I decided I'm traveling it with like this, so that gives me even less things to have to put away. I'm gonna try lifting this. Now this is something I've been kind of fighting with myself over whether or not I wanted to talk about this or even show anybody anything. But I actually have a handicap. I have a bum leg, basically. I have nerve damage in my leg, which causes me excruciating pain most of the time. And because of that, I actually use this wheelchair when I'm going to go somewhere and do something, and I'm going to be walking around, or not walking around obviously, but can't walk for long periods of time, so I use this chair. And I've weighed it with me in it, take my weight out of it. It weighs close to 300 pounds. And from what I've seen so far, I have not lifted it all the way up. I did take a little bit of weight off onto the crane here, and it does still seem like it's bending down a little bit, but this is the max most I'm going to be using it. So yet again, don't use this for 1,000 pounds. Don't even do it the way I'm doing it if you probably even want to, you know, if you want to even come close to 1,000 pounds. So, because here's 300 and I think it's pushing it. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up, and we'll test her out, see what happens. Alright, I'm zoomed in now, and as you can see, that back plate is kind of coming up off the ground, and it's definitely dipping down quite a bit. But like I said, this is the max I will ever use, and it's hanging, and it doesn't seem to be dropping a whole lot more. Like I said, don't do this at home, you know, unless you're just using it for throwing lawnmowers or something fairly light in the back that you're going to be doing. This is definitely pushing it at 300 pounds. Well, as you can see, it is free flowing here, and it's definitely, I got even more than I need to get this up. So if you have anything yay big, you'll be able to get it in the back, and I can turn it pretty darn easy. And I'll get it in here. And now here's the one thing I do see as a flaw here. So this jack just hit the side of the truck. So I'm going to have an issue trying to get this jack turned around to let the pressure off. So that is a flaw right there. And I suppose I could have turned this around, but then I'd have been jacking down here when I tried that. That's why I have it the way I have it. So I think this is too long, first of all. This is the handle that came with it, and it's just plain too long. So I took my old cherry picker, Harbor Freight engine hoist handle, and cut it down because I'm going to paint it anyway. So I figured I'd mess with this orange one. I don't really like the color anyhow. And I cut it down to, I believe it's 13, about 13 inches, give or take. I'd give rather than take. And then I took this old scooter that I got for free, and inside of that, well, I took obviously the handle off. This is the handle from this. It fits right on there. But also on the end of there's these plugs, and they're hooked to this rope here. I just snipped off the end of the plug, and it actually fits, once you do that, right into that hole. So that kind of gives it a little bit of a finished off look there. And then I put the handle on there, and it's on there pretty good. At first it was a little bit loose, but now I've noticed actually, since it's been sitting in the back of my truck, it's tightened up quite a bit. So anyhow, about 13 inches, you know, you could use a bike handle, bike grip, whatever, yeah, something like that, bike grip, and throw it on the end there and be done with it. Have a nice little handle with quite a bit of grip on it. And then the other thing is, unless you carry a Leatherman around like I do, you're going to have trouble with some sort of pair of pliers. And watch your fingers here, because I'll let her down. Sweet. Alright. I'd say it was a success for the most part. It's got a few flaws, like I said. I think I'd definitely get with some grade A longer bolts here. You're definitely going to need plate. Personally, if I had bigger plate that would come maybe even out a little ways, it's not going to affect what you can load in here as much, but maybe bring it out even this far. Like I said, I'm not responsible if you do something that I do and mess up your truck or drop something on somebody's head or something. So, you know, I'm just showing you what I'm going to do for what I need to do, and I don't want you to follow anything that I do and hurt yourself, so I'm not responsible if you do. Well, thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.